attempting to engage the audience per my instructions.
Did it say, and I know you talked about it earlier, did it say engage student leaders or faculty leaders?
No, not
student
that.
leaders are just going to be kids.
Yeah.
Faculty leaders would be a bit of a higher
It says,
bar to clear.
MC for our student organization fair, please attempt to engage the student leaders between sets of jokes.
So just other kids.
Yes. Outdoor amphitheater.
Do you know how you're going to go about doing that?
Nope.
I see this guy. I mean, it's just crowd work.
This is, 100%. Pretty much most college gigs are all crowd work. Just because there'll be 3 people there, I'm like, I can't do an hour of jokes to 3 people. Or there's people just walking around.
And a lot of things you probably can't talk about either.
There is a 8x11 sheet of things you're not allowed to talk about. Right. Literally, the main ones are no politics, no drugs, no alcohol, no cursing, no sex, no...
Nothing that a college student might be able to identify with.
Right. No violence. That's a big one.
No violence. Mm-hmm. So you can't swing your microphone on the court above your head like Thor's hammer and whip it at a kid.
I don't know if I can I don't know if I can engage in an act of violence. I am not allowed to talk about violence in my set.
That's an important distinction to make, yeah.
I don't know. I've never asked.
All right.
Better to ask for forgiveness
than permission.
Yeah. Hey. So just go ahead and be violent and then be like, sorry.
I was attempting to engage with them.
Hey,
what?
I engaged my microphone with his cranium.
Engage with this fist.
Yup.
Where's the schools at now that they're bringing back corporal punishment?
Oh, God, do you believe that?
What, Texas?
No, Missouri.
Oh.
But they're not going to be the last ones to do it. I totally, Missouri is no shock at all.
School like paddling?
Yeah, school in Missouri is going to bring back
kids.
Bring back spanking.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, a lot of parents have thanked us, which sounds like a really like Trump thing to say. You know, oh, people come up to me all the time and say, oh, sir, you've done. So these people know that they're probably in for it, but I'm sure there are some people like, thank God I was tired of having to discipline my own children. Now you can do it. Yeah, I'm sure there are some people happy about it there in Missouri, but although I guarantee that some fans of this, it hasn't even crossed their mind that their own kids might end up getting spanked. I'm sure they think it's a great idea for other people's kids to get spanked. Yeah, Johnny is always complaining about this other piece of crap in his class, and, you know, if you could give that kid a couple of whacks, that'd be awesome. So we'll see how mix that, by the way, with all of the anti-LGBTQ crap that's in schools now, and this is going to explode spectacularly in someone's face. Because Missouri won't be the first school to do this, that they're going to bring back spanking. This also underscores why people don't really care about kids. Because all you hear are we need cops in schools to protect kids. We need to ban books to protect kids. We need to, anything too woke, we got to protect the kids. But I absolutely want the teacher to beat my kid physically. That's fantastic. Because the line in the article I read was, reasonable physical force. Good luck with that.
Yeah, right. And
See, I've seen a lot of people out there. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people out there really have a good grasp on reasonable physical force. And what's the age maximum? So
what's the age minimum?
Well, are
they going to be spanking kindergartners?
I saw an article. I think people think small kids who might lack impulse control. But the article I read had a stock photo image of like a teenage girl in a Catholic school uniform bent over a desk and somebody spanking. I'm like, There's
so many more problems.
A school district in Springfield, Missouri, which 25 years ago was the meth capital of the United States.
They lost their title?
Oh, yeah, a while ago.
It's a bummer.
They're going to reinstate spanking this year. Superintendent said that a year ago when he took the job, he didn't take the job with a plan to reinstate corporal punishment.
It just happened.
Well, they did it up until 20 years ago.
That's crazy.
So it's been gone for 20 years. He said, but it's something that has happened on my watch, and I'm okay with it. Now, this is a small town. This is 4,000 people this is Cassville, Missouri. So that part of Missouri, it's very close to the Arkansas border. And they're going to allow spanking in school.
Still think it should be pronounced Arkansas.
Now you get to opt in or out, which means the teacher's got to know, and I can't imagine the teacher is even wants to venture into that area. But the teacher's got to know they're going to have some kind of sign around their neck or something. Mom and dad said, I can be spanked. I can't be spanked. You get to opt in or out.
Right.
They call Cassville a very traditional community in Southwest Missouri. You know, we like to punch our kids. Parents have said to them, why can't you paddle my student? And up until now, the superintendent says our policy doesn't support that. So we had conversations with parents, and a lot of them said, go ahead.
Hit them.
Yeah.
Now, I grew up in a different time, sure. 90s, early 2000s. Everyone on our block was allowed to hit us. That's not a joke. That like if one of if one of the neighbors was watching us, it was like known amongst these 4 or 5 families that we all had kids around the same age. If my kid is acting up at your home, go ahead and smack them.
But did they?
Yeah.
There had to have been parents that would just be maybe a sterner voice with you.
Stern, they'll smack you on the ass. Like nothing like, I never got like beat.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're not going to get laid out.
No, but I was allowed to get smacked on the back of the head if they're like, hey, knock it off, and they'd whip me or whatever.
It wouldn't have been sufficient to say, Mary, knock it off.
I just think maybe it was just our group of like families were all into that.
It's 2022. There are still plenty of people who hit their kids.
Yeah.
But I got spanked all the time as a kid. My parents were way into corporal punishment.
Yeah.
And apparently I was the only one that was doing anything wrong. So I got spanked all the time.
Yeah.
So I said early on, I'm not hitting my kids.
It's not that you were doing anything wrong. It's just you weren't doing anything right.
Right. That's more
important.
important.
That too. I mean, I deserved it.
But yeah, it was just kind of known
you
amongst.
You naughty little boy.
Well, but early on, I remember my mom, I remember just frequently she'd be like, good luck. She was very spare the rod, spoil the child. When they're walking all over you in 10 years, don't come crying to me. I'm like, Mom, I think I'll be okay because I probably could have turned out a lot worse.
Yeah.
It's not like my parents were punching me or throwing me across the room. I was getting spanked all the time.
Yeah.
A wooden paddle on a bare ass, a lot.
We got hit with belts.
Because that was, I guess, what they thought they should have done, and that was the best that they could do.
They're frustrated. They don't know how else to do it.
We were belts and
Hot Wheels tracks?
No.
Oh,
wooden spoons. The wooden spoons would start breaking by the time we were like 8, 9 years old, and then we're like, all right, belt time.
Yeah, we got belts, Hot Wheels tracks were the 2 big ones. And then, smacked or whatever.
So it's really up to states to decide to do this. I mean, the late 70s, Supreme Court was like, you can whip kids in school. Corporal punishment's fine in school. It's just up to the states. So
I say make it a game. Like, make it part of gym class and, like, shoot them with paintballs.
I don't know if...
And they'll have fun, too.
I don't think it's allowed in Ohio. It's allowed in a lot of states. I don't think Ohio is one of them.
If it was allowed in Ohio, people would be wailing away on kids, believe me.
Okay, I will. I'll believe you.
Well, because on the one hand, you do have people that are like, teachers can't do anything. Their hands are tied, and they're just glorified babysitters. You see these viral videos of kids going crazy in class. So I guess it makes sense that a lot of people's brains would go to just start smacking kids. But a lot of these kids get smacked at home.
Yeah.
So that's not really, I know some people think it's the 50s, but I don't know, man. Anyway, it's Missouri, and they're going to take a crack at it, if you will.
All right.
Striking the student on the head or the face is not permitted. The only punishment allowed is swatting the buttocks with a paddle.
Now, there's going to be one teacher that's just
so into it.
Goes too far.
Into it. They just want to spank a child, and they're like, you know what? I've been a bad teacher, too. Why don't you give me a few spanks?
Listen, I'll turn around. I'll let you do. Oh, did I pull it down in the front too? That's weird. My pants must have slipped.
But this is also because there's nothing simple anymore. So especially not at that level. So this is one of those things where people love to go, well, just apply common sense. Except for a lot of people, that doesn't exist. So then they have to get really granular and specific. And they're like, okay, only paddle on the ass. They had to ask them how many swings are allowed.
Well, yeah, you do have to get, because then they're going to be like, is this a gray area? Or?
Listen, I when I went to Catholic school, I was on the tail end of the spankings. Like, I remember my mom's brother, my uncle, was left-handed. But back in the medieval times of the 50s, right, he was trying to write with his left hand, and the nuns would smack him on his left hand, so he had to learn to write.
That's the devil's hand.
It was the devil's hand. Oh, Christ. So he had to learn with his write with his right hand, but it looked like chicken scratch. His whole life, anytime I'd get like a birthday card from my uncle, it looked like a Parkinson's patient had filled it out.
I might be no-handed because my handwriting's terrible with both hands. So maybe I'm supposed to write with my foot.
No one is jumping up and down saying that we want to paddle kids, said the superintendent.
Lies.
But students respond to different, he said, students respond in different ways to discipline. Positive reinforcement works with a lot of kids. However, some kids' behaviors aren't changing. Well, we'll see if this does it.
And the only way for their behavior to change is through pain.
There you go. I mean, pain can be between two or more consenting adults.
A lot of fun.
Oh, of course. Pain can be a great incentive. Who knows? There's a message off of the iHeartRadio app, little talkback button there.
Hey, Alan. So Bill was talking about giving an old lady a Ninja Turtles robe. And it reminded me we were on a cruise with my mother, who's in her, 50s. And she was cold but didn't want to get her coat, so I let her borrow my hoodie. Well, the hoodie that I had on was a hoodie with an alien on the front, and on the back it said, "Get in, loser, we're doing butt stuff." So she didn't know, and it was hilarious.
I've got a Get In Loser t-shirt with a UFO on it. It doesn't say we're doing butt stuff on it. That's like an extra
That's implied,
unnecessary
yeah.
level there, yeah.
I don't know if it's unnecessary.
I don't think so. It should have, we're doing butt stuff on it.
Funny.
Yeah. Why is everyone laughing at my robe?
What is butt stuff?
Alan, spanking is allowed in Ohio. Okay.
Okay, well then don't trust me.
Well, because somebody had put a list of it's like 19 or 20 states where it's allowed, it's legal. And I didn't see Ohio on that list.
I think I was thinking probably in school. I don't think it's allowed in school. It's allowed at home.
I think that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, I was mistaken. I thought you guys were talking specifically about school.
No. I think they're talking about it's allowed at
in school.
Beach
Oh.
kids.
Parents can do whatever they want.
I was gonna. Well, no.
Not whatever they
With if you're spanking at home, you have to legally. I'm using air quotes. Legally, it has to be with your hand. You're not allowed to use any type of weapon, not a spatula, not a pooper scooper.
Well, it's just
not
the
a
easiest way
switch.
to spank it anyway, so why wouldn't you use your hand?
Exactly, Bill. Exactly.
You mean all these people that were using implements were breaking the law?
Correct. They're child abusers.
You're like, now who's bad?
Alan, I am unfamiliar with the concept of spanking. Could you please paddle Mary on camera so I can see what it is?
Oh, yeah. Come on, brother. Let's go.
I recuse
Come on.
myself from this whole thing. I want nothing to do with
You want to
this.
hit it?
You want to hit it? 604.
I want nothing to do with it. Thank you, though. My granny.
Can I hit it with a closed fist?
Sure.
Just
You can
really
punch my
your
butt.
butt cheek.
Metal spatula, bare butt, somebody's dad used.
Oof.
My dad, who grew up in the Deep South in the 50s, his dad would say, pick your switch.
Mm-hmm. Go outside and get a thing off the
Off the
stick
tree.
off of the tree. My grandparents did the same thing.
Yeah.
Go get you a switch. I don't know what that means.
Now, kids nowadays would be like, "Oh, I'm getting a Nintendo."
Hey, you're gonna beat me with my
Hey!
gaming system?
Nice.
I got hit with a pooper scooper, and that's probably one of my most favorite things to be spanked with now that I'm thinking about it.
My
Dude, you got a
brother,
weird fetish there.
my
It was no
brother tells a
fetish.
story. I don't trust anything my brothers say, but they both swear up and down that at one point when I was a very little kid, my dad picked me up by the arms and swung me around and hit my brothers with me. That they
It's
Was
the
he
perfect
Matilda?
crime.
that they used me as
But
the weapon.
That sounds like fun roughhousing type
No,
stuff.
not the way that they
if they're
tell it.
little, like, okay, so they said that.
So I was like 3 or 4, and they were like 10 and 12, and my dad picked me up by the arms and
Sheesh.
swung me into them. I don't know how true that is. I don't remember it. Obviously, I would be too young to remember that, but they swear that they've been beat with their siblings before.
That's creative.
I know, right?
What's the law against that?
Because then you
I don't
go,
know.
A sibling with
I
another
didn't
sibling?
hit the kids.
Mary did
Mary
it. My
did it,
kids
yeah.
are fighting. He's got our arms punching each other.
I mean, remember when Miss Krabappel spanked Bart? That was a big deal. And that was mid-90s.
It's a heavy Simpsons show.
It was a big deal. She got in big trouble. I don't know if that's when she got fired, but...
I don't think it was Mrs. Krabappel that did that. I
thought it was.
No.
Miss Hoover?
No.
That was Lisa's teacher.
That was Lisa's teacher. It was... Man, who was it that... who was... Somebody spanked Bart, but it was a big deal.
Was it Ned Flanders' wife?
No. Was it? I don't even think it was a lady.
Was it Ned Flanders?
Who spanked Bart?
Alan, we got swatted with rulers in 87 by a nun. Catholic schools still do this. I don't know. I mean, I'll take your word for it, but I mean, I was class of 89.
Oh.
And we weren't getting smacked with the rulers.
It was George Bush.
I spanked. Oh, because Barb got all mad at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something your dad should have done a long time ago.
All right.
And then Homer got all pissed, and then they went to war with him.
Mm-hmm.
He spanked you?
H. Bush?
George
HW.
H.W. Bush. Oh, that's just a loop. That's really
What is that noise?
Somebody took the time to loop that. George H.W. spanking Bart Simpson. What about if the student is non-binary? Who would whack them? I see what you're doing. I thought male teachers were only allowed to paddle males. You know what?
You got a robot. You get a robot to
you get the
robot spanker.
You get the Spanktron 5000.
Yeah,
okay, I'll lend you mine. I have a feeling those aren't the kind of nuanced conversations that are going to be happening in Cassville, Missouri. But that's an assumption on my part. Alan went to school in South Carolina, and they sent permission slips home at the beginning of the year asking parents if it was okay to spank their kids. I vaguely remember that happening, too. They're like, hey, if your kid gets out of line, is it okay if...
Give them a little whack.
Yeah.
I would just not give that permission slip to my parents.
Well, they probably mailed
It's
it.
an automatic yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. If we don't get a response, we'll assume you mean yes.
That's a good one. You have 10 days to respond.
Yeah, auto opt out or opt in. There are going to be so many creepy teachers doing this. Hey, why are cheerleaders always getting spanked? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there could be a maximum age there. They're not going to do it to high school kids.
It's even worse.
Who's going to put some dude over the desk and spank him? He beat a teacher's ass. This has got to be through, like, middle school or something.
Probably, like, ages, 5 to 12? First grade through 7th grade?
Yeah, they didn't say, but I would have to think that that's what it is. Weird. Alan, I work with a guy who picked up another guy and used him as a weapon to hit other guys in a bar fight.
I'm telling you, my brothers swear by it. Nobody else remembers it, but both of them do.
God. Well, you have to be... you definitely have to be a co-conspirator in that. You can't just pick somebody up and not tell them what you're going to do, and then just start
4-year-old.
crashing their bones into other people's bodies.
Crashing. Just the thought of that. Get away from me! And just start throwing a toddler around and using him as a weapon. It gives me Mistrenchable vibes from Matilda, where she picks her up by her pigtail.
Yeah, swings it, throws out the window.
I love that image. This is why I don't want to have kids.
Well, tell your brother. We don't care.
If I can't whoop him, I can't watch him.
If he can't whoop him, he can't watch him. Maybe when it's all over for you in showbiz, you just become a school teacher.
Those who can't do teach. So I don't want to have kids. I want to beat them.
Right.
What's wrong with you, dude?
He's
things.
He's not okay.
No, he loves the notion of that.
This is the most alive he's been all show.
It really is.
Like that
Smacking innocent children.
He's like, nah.
Did you move in your chair? Whack.
All right, you want to get the last word in? Shoot me a text, 35192. We'll take a break here at the Corey Roddick Experience after 6:30 tonight. and we'll be back after these.
The Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app and your favorite smart device. Just tell it to play The Alan Cox Show on iHeartRadio.
Get ready to win your way into our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival. The same festival where Prince joined Mary J. Blige and Sting joined Lady Gaga as the biggest superstars from all genres of music come together September 23rd and 24th at T-Mobile Arena in Los